quantum friends, I am Tiptayan Chatterjee from 7th Quantum Academy with a wonderful world of the string theory, that is the most modern approach to analyze the universe, visible and invisible universe, and why we are here, how our being was created. That is a great questions and answers are there also hidden. And now we would like to take a great look and a deep look about what string theory is. In 20th century, at the threshold of the 20th century, there were different and vivid theories about the creation of the universe, expansions of the universe, and the being of us in every point of this universe. And it was explained by the classical physics and quantum physics and the different type of approaches to analyze this topic. But at the first half of the 21st century, there came another theory which is called string theory. What is this wonderful string theory? This fascinating string theory? You can gauge the string. String is something that is like a thread and that can vibrate, can produce mechanical waves, But these strings are just like a string of the guitar, When we play guitar, we just vibrate in different modes, the strings, and different kind of tunes comes up to make the beautiful music. So this visible and universal universe and invisible universe always are creating the different modes of vibration to create all kind of particles and even space and time. Space and time was also the strings, and it vibrated, it created energy, and the space-time continuum was made, and then all the space, time, gravitation, all time of particles was created. So string made us, the human being, our existence. String made earth, string made all kind of atoms, string made this universe, string made this galaxy, string made this super galaxy, string made this black hole, and also the Big Bang, and whatever has been explained or not explained at all. But it is a simplified decision that everything is made of string. This string is not so big that I talked about, just like a guitar. This string is very small, very tiny. And this tiny string is so tiny that the length of this string is actually shorter than the radius of an atomic nuclei. Can you ever imagine? These strings are one-dimensional and they are creating this large universe, being entangled with other strings one by one, innumerable number of strings, rather to say the infinite number of strings. But it is very easy to imagine that some strings that is very tiny, shorter than the radius of the atomic nuclei, are creating this universe and everything that we have been observing from the time immemorial. But can you ever imagine that how did this string originate? How did this string originate? After the originations, everything will be created. This galaxy will be created, this planet will be created, human being will be created, and everything will be created. And the creation, the world of creation, world of visible and invisible creation are presented before us. But how did these strings arise? That was also the vital question at the time. But to discover it, to explore it, to find out the causes of the generation of the string, we will have to go into the another world. That is the quantum world, quantum physics world. To analyze the origin of string, its evolution, and its activities, and its different phases, different waves, and also the vibration and vibrational mode, quantum physics will help us to do. To go for finding out the strings, the mysterious world of this string, we should know first that there was a quantum vacuum. In general sense, we see that whenever we look up at the sky, we see stars, we see planets, galaxies and different things. and most of the space are seen empty, black. Though there is dark matter and dark energy, that is something different. But these great empty spaces can be analogically compared to the quantum vacuum, but actually it is not a vacuum. I told in my earlier videos when I was talking about the different topics, interesting and fascinating topics in quantum physics, that this empty space, that is vacuum, is not only a vacuum. This is such a point where existence and non-existence are co-residing at the same place, same point. And these points are also energy, discrete space and time. Discrete space and discrete time. So when we look at this position, that existence and non-existence, everything and nothing, existence, non-existence, everything and nothing, there is something seen as the oscillation. Everything, nothing, everything, nothing, everything, nothing, everything, nothing. How much big is this universe? Incredibly vast, this universe. And this whole universe is popping out and popping down, popping out, popping down, coming into the existence and being washed away in the non-existence. If we analogically give it a color, the color of existence is white and color of nothing is black. Then white, black, white, black, white, black, white, black are taking place. This is one kind of superposition. In this quantum vacuum, an oscillation is being seen. As there is oscillation, there must be a wavelength, there must be a frequency, there must be an amplitude. Everything is there related to oscillations. What type of oscillations? I'm not going to explain that one, because this is a special, unique type of oscillation which cannot be compared to the electromagnetic oscillation or mechanical oscillations or any type of oscillations that we have observed so far. This oscillation has a frequency, but the most important thing is the amplitude of the oscillations. Everything and nothing, when are getting separated, an amplitude is being created. You can tell it also the function vector. And this oscillation's amplitude is the smallest length in the world, in the universe, in the visible universe, in the invisible universe. And this amplitude, that means this displacement of this everything from nothing, for the time being, is actually called Planck's length, after the name of the great scientist Max Planck. We have been able to measure this one from the back calculations of the reactions between this Planck's length and the gravitational field. We got this amplitude is actually 1.62 into 10 to the power minus 35 meters. I told you this is the smallest length in the visible and invisible universe, and this is called the Planck's length. The speed of light is considered the fastest entity in the world, in the universe. So if we can calculate that how much time it takes for light to cross this Planck's length, will be the Planck's time. That is the smallest amount of time. No time can be smaller than this amount, and that is the Planck's time. When Planck's time and Planck's length are coming into the arena, naturally it is looking like a string, though it is invisible. We cannot see it with our 5 traditional organs, 5 traditional sense organs. We cannot observe it with our high-end technology so far, but the existence of this smallest length, like a string, is there. As the oscillations goes on, different terms work there. First one is Planck constant, which says the frequency, and the frequency gives the birth of the energy. So energy and momentum's multiplication is always constant, that is Planck constant. And if we divide it by 2 pi, this 2 pi is one type of angular frequency, then it is reduced Planck constant, that h bar, it is denoted by h bar. So this Planck constant and Planck's length, that is small l and capital P, is 1.62 into 10 to the power minus 35 meters, which is actually the length of the one-dimensional string. These strings are getting populated one by one due to the different frequencies of nothing and everything. That is, the frequencies being created from the quantum vacuum and spreading all over the visible and invisible universe. And second time, when this first string which was born is taking his second frequency, that means second jumping, the length, wavelength is getting increased, and that is being the longer than the first amplitude which we saw. So this is second level of vibration, and the same string gets the third level of vibration. So all the strings generated are getting vibrated with different frequencies in different level with respect to the time. Here we should note that as the string is considered as a discrete space, so it is entwined with a discrete time also. So discrete space and discrete time are there as an energy released due to the oscillation caused by the quantum vacuum. That is the great point. These strings makes the world with the different mode of vibration with different kind of frequencies. Whenever we will go afterward in our next videos to narrate what is the real mystery, we will see that the first string, if we think that all the strings are washed away and only one string is there, is working for the convenience of our study and understanding. A single string, when with the highest frequency running and with different processes, different quantum processes that I will describe in my next video. What are the processes? The process is giving the birth of first one particle, that is called graviton. This graviton is preparing the loop quantum gravity, one type of gravity that is residing, that is living, that is existing in the quantum world, invisible. And this loop quantum gravity is actually the gravity which is working in the Planck's world. What is the Planck's world? I mentioned earlier. Where the Planck's length, Planck's time, Planck's mass, everything related to Planck's is working, and that is called Planck's world. In this Planck's world, the birth of graviton we observed. When graviton started with another frequency, with greater wavelength, it is giving the birth of photon and gluon. So in ascending order, in accordance with the frequency from higher to lower, the force carrier particles are getting generated here in ascending order, that is graviton, gluon and photon. The birth of these force carrier particles was created in the different arenas of our visible and visible universe. In the Planck's world, graviton was taking birth, and when the Planck's world is crossing the limit and when length is coming as equal to the radius of the atomic nuclei, then the gluons are being created, photons are being created. And these three forces, along with another force, that is boson, which is also created due to the string vibrations with larger frequencies, with larger amplitude, is giving the mass to those atoms. So graviton, gluon, photon and also boson all are the strings. And if we say that everything is made of strings, that means everything is made of with certain stage of the strings. The different things we are observing, we are existing in, are actually the different phases of the strings, different vibrations of the strings, and different vibration level of the strings. So string is creating this visible and invisible universe. And this way we see that whatever we have been observing from the time immemorial, whatever we have explained, whatever theories we have given, whatever mathematical representation we have given, fundamentally there are the game playing of the strings which are originated from quantum world, that is the quantum vacuum. Another feature of the string is said that whatever we are observing with our six sense organs, 5 is common and another one is our cognition, is the third dimensional places. And these 3-dimensional spaces is not the last word. String theory says there are 10 dimensions in our visible and invisible universe, compactified upon one another. After the third dimension there is 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. And another one is also 11th, which is described in the M theory and F theory, and another versions of the string theory. If we say between every 2 dimensions there is a brain, B-R-A-N-E. It is called Dirichlet brain, D brain. This D brain has also an equation, also a construction, also an activity. But what is it? We will know it later. So, in a nutshell, we can say that there is quantum vacuum. Quantum vacuum is actually the co-residence of the everything and nothing. Annihilation and creations are taking place frequently. It is coming out, popping out and popping down. And it is creating the smallest amplitude, that is the smallest one-dimensional space, that is one-dimensional discrete space, which is a length, the length which is very much shorter than the radius of an atomic nucleus, which proves that when the strings started to take birth, no questions of the birth of the atoms was there. And this is the blank world. String takes birth as in the blank world. As the time passes on, this discrete space and discrete time, when it starts to grow up again and again, and the frequency started to be lower when propagating from one place to another places, naturally the nature of the string starts to change. So in the first phase, with the high frequencies, particle gravitons are being created, which are creating the loop quantum gravity, which will turn into the gravity which are observing in our third dimension, explained by the general theory of relativity of Albert Einstein. In the second phase, gluon, which is creating the strong nuclear force to maintain the bindings of the proton and neutron in the nucleus. And in third phase, the photon are being created when the propagation was farther ahead and the wavelength was longer than this one. And this photon is the energy, an energy packet spreading all over the universe, and the most important things to analyze everything in our 3-dimensional worlds and with our 5-6 organs, sense organs. So this is the nutshell of the string theory. And this string theory is being explained by the quantum physics and quantum mechanics. Quantum vacuum turning into strings, strings turning into particles, particles crossing the D brains, and all the particles making atoms, atom making molecules, molecules making matter, and matter making everything in this visible and invisible universe. But in fundamental places, there is string, string, and string. There are different activities of string. There are different phases of strings from one layer to another layer. There are different formation of strings. there are different kind of figures and shapes of the strings. As we see, there are two kind of strings, open strings and closed strings. Open strings is just like a thread and closed strings is just like a circle or in different shapes. But this closed strings, if I say closed string is actually the ends of the two ends of the strings are joined and they get different shapes, and these different shapes in different twisting they are giving the birth of the different kind of particles which are making this universe, beyond this universe, visible world, invisible world. To know much more about the strings and strings activities and the mystery of the world, of the mystery of the universe, mystery of the visible and invisible universe, just follow us in our next videos in 7 Quantum Academy. Just subscribe this channel and just tap on the bell icon so that you can be notified whenever new videos uploaded regarding it. So before going to the another mysterious level of the string theories to explain you everything what is being done before us, what has been done earlier and what will be the future of the universe, visible and invisible, please join us in our next video. Till then, goodbye from SEVENTH.